Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Trump Trolls Trump. You know, that show where one person with the last name of Trump relentlessly and quite frankly deservedly mocks another person with the last name Trump. And I'm going to leave it to you because I trust you guys to figure out who is who. We are now, hard to believe, 124 days into the Trump regime. And Donald is still doing what he does best. Lying, being stupid. No, actually, I know it's a stiff competition, but in this case, it's grifting. He is trying to sell everything from steaks to Bibles, for God's sakes, without being struck by lightning, to coins, to non-fungible tokens, guitars, presidential trading cards, water, vodka. But one of his latest ventures left a North Carolina couple a little, shall we say, underwhelmed. Because I give you the Rump watch. What? Let's go to WCIV News 4 out of Charleston.
I'm very disappointed. I wanted to be a special thing for her. And we had expected that it would have the integrity of the President of the United States.
Showing support for the president and love for his wife.
Just thought it was really nice. It was beautiful. And I knew it would be something that she'd like.
And Tim Pettit shelled out $640 for a watch that may now be even more of a one-of-a-kind than he bargained for.
Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Pettit bought the watch after hearing an ad like that one on the radio.
With the president's voice hawking the watches.
Pettit picked out the pink inauguration First Lady model.
It has the pink and it has little fireworks on it.
Melanie Pettit likes the style, but it's what this watch does not have that makes it stand out.
I noticed it right away. The T is missing. It just says RUMP.
So it should say Trump.
Should say Trump.
Instead,
it says Rump.
She has a $640 Rump watch.
And an apology would be nice for making my wife cry.
Hey guys, pro tip. That watch does have the integrity of Donald Trump. You got exactly what you bargained for. I mean, taste aside, obviously. Yeah, that's kind of despicable. It's sloppy. It's thoughtless. It's Donald. What do you expect? Good luck getting your money back. Anyway, I don't know what else to tell you except do not buy things from a guy who has been lying to your faces for decades and who is a guy who also has grifted for his entire life. Anyway, before we go further, we are not corporate backed here at Mary Trump Media. We are not for sale. Independent media only survives because of people like you. And together, we will never back down. So if you want to help us keep growing so we can keep fighting, please like and share this video and make sure you subscribe to our channel. So remember when Donald promised that countries were lining up to make beautiful trade deals with us? Well, speaking of ticking clocks, it has been 4 months, and the only deal we've seen is a tax break on Rolls-Royces, which I'm sure is extraordinarily helpful to about 0.001% of the population. So, unless you're a British aristocrat or a Bond villain, sucks to be you. Even Fox is starting to notice. Watch host Stuart Varney try to get an answer from Donald's economic whisperer, so-called, Kevin Hassett.
Where do we stand on trade deals? The last we heard that we were getting close to 20 deals, and we were promised that these deals would be announced soon, but why no announced deals yet?
Well, first, there's a lot going on in the world, as you know, and there's been a lot of focus over the last couple of days in the White House on getting the House bill through. But I was in the Oval yesterday with Howard Lutnick and Jamieson Greer going over some of the next steps, and I'm highly confident that you'll see a handful of new deals over the next 2 weeks.
Wow, a handful. Is that more or less than the over 190 countries on the planet? I think it's less. Maybe. In conclusion, basically what these people are saying to us and have been saying to us repeatedly is the check is in the mail. How much do you trust somebody who says that to you over and over and over again, especially if you never get the fucking check? We're going to get back to you in 2 weeks, is what the Trump administration keeps saying. Sure. And if you believe that, well, guys, there are probably plenty of Rump watches, on back order with your name on them. Anyway, let's check in on Donald's ongoing war against renewable energy, because as we know, it seems like wind and solar are, for reasons I honestly cannot begin to fathom, his personal enemies. We've heard it all, that windmills are bird murderers, solar power doesn't work at night. How do magnets work? Jesus Christ, if only there were something called physics that could help us answer some of these questions, my God. But yes, these are real concerns for Donald and his enablers who don't believe in science, even though, guys, science is not a belief system. Watch here as Maria Bartiromo struggles with the whole concept.
I understand nuclear, but what about wind and solar? I mean, should we really have wind and solar subsidies in this bill? What if it's not windy? What if it's not sunny?
What if it's not windy? What if it's not sunny? Okay, guys, there's always a sun behind clouds. There's always a sun on one side of the planet or the other. There's always wind somewhere. By the way, the whole point of energy is for it to be stored. So if it's windy one day, the energy gets stored in case it's... Okay, these people are beyond help because they know these things. They just pretend they don't, which muddies the water for people who are actually looking to them for actual information about how to understand the world, which probably explains why so many Americans continue to be so bloody confused. So while Bartiromo is struggling or pretending to struggle to digest the bizarre concept of science in the form of wind and solar energy, it seems like somebody else in the Trump regime could really use a hug. So for our next segment, let's try. This is, I don't like to brag, but this is like completely in my wheelhouse. So roll with me on this. We're going to try an exercise in sarcasm. Something like, Elon Musk has been treated so unfairly. How's that? Anyway, Donald actually said that with a straight face. And, the one thing that's remarkable about this is that the only other person I've heard Donald say that about is Donald. Also with a straight face, which makes me want to be sarcastic. Anyway, meanwhile, Elon's regime at DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has gutted programs like the EPA, the CDC, USAID, even, they're still coming for Social Security. These were not efficiency cuts. They took a chainsaw to basic functions of government. And the result? Elon's companies are tanking. Not Donald's, because Donald keeps getting richer and richer because he keeps taking bribes. But that's a story for another time. Elon's companies are tanking. And instead of taking accountability, he's now on CNBC just feeling sorry for himself. Watch this. Try not to cry.
Try to claim that I was a Nazi because of some random hand gesture at a rally where all I said was that my heart goes out to you, and I was talking about space travel. And yet the legacy media promoted that as though that was a deliberate Nazi gesture, when in fact every politician, any public speaker who's spoken for any length of time has made the exact same gesture. And yet there's still people out there, and I've never harmed a single person.
I'm sorry. This is really hard. I'm sorry. In this economy, in this divided country, to be a billionaire fascist? I don't know. How does he get by? Yeah, it's fucking horrible. Elon Musk needs to fuck right all the way off. And the fact that he is pretending that he did not give us a Nazi salute, or that he has not been trying to destroy the United States government for his own ends. And by the way, yeah, his companies are tanking, but so what? Because he's rigged the system, the United States government under Donald Trump has been giving his companies tens of billions of dollars in federal financing. So yeah, see ya. Earlier this month, Donald actually confused the film industry when he posted to his failing social media site that he was, quote, authorizing the Department of Commerce to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again, unquote. Well, at the Cannes Film Festival this week, director Wes Anderson was asked about his thoughts on the movie tariff, and this was his response.
The tariff is fascinating because the 100% tariff, I never heard of a 100% tariff before. I'm not an expert in that area of economics, but I feel that means he's saying he's going to take all the money. And then what do we get? So it's complicated to me. I also think, does it mean he's good at, like, can you hold up the movie in customs? I feel it doesn't ship that way. So I just don't know. I'm not sure. I want to know the details.
Yeah, so do we. And by the way, so does Donald, because he doesn't know that. Like, how do you put a tariff on intellectual property? Like, is it maybe? I think I just figured it out. He probably thinks that most movies are still made on actual film, and he can put a tariff on the film, but they're digital, you idiot. There's literally nothing concrete. There's nothing three-dimensional to tax anymore. I don't know. But clearly Wes Anderson understands this in a way Donald never will, and we're all just going to be confused forever until, I don't know, some new Martin Scorsese movie comes through customs and gets hauled off by ICE. Who knows? Anyway, sorry. Every once in a while, I am blown away by the fact that so many people decided to put this moron in charge of everything. But leaving that aside, because that's an evergreen topic, have you ever heard the saying, nothing good happens after midnight? Well, the House Republicans were so proud of their economic cruelty that they inserted into their new budget bill. They passed it in the dark, like literally, and then had the audacity to celebrate. House Speaker Mike Johnson tried to kiss Donald's ring with a little post-vote groveling, and Democrats just couldn't help laughing at him.
Today wouldn't be possible without the leadership of arguably the most powerful and the most successful and the most respected president in the modern era of the United States. Our Democrat colleagues mock the objective truth.
Okay, it's democratic, you prepubescent child. First of all. Secondly, keep groveling. Keep groveling, keep bending the knee, keep pretending that Donald Trump is anything other than to be reviled, you monster. The Democrats were laughing because it is a joke. There is no objective truth in which Donald Trump is anything other than an abject loser, grifter, traitorous, treasonous grifter. Okay? Now, Mike Johnson is perfectly willing to perpetuate that untruth. But Democrats know it's a joke. They know it's a cruel joke. And every week, because Donald and the fascist Republican Party continue to tell jokes at our expense, we're going to be here to call it out. So thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Trump Trolls Trump. I'm pretty sure at this point you know which role I'm playing here. It's fun. I love it. Keep coming back. I will see you guys next week. Thanks.